I have a question.
Okay.
What on the countdown? Why does the snow go up?
I don't know.
It's in Australia.
Oh, okay. I was like, did you cheap out and buy the wrong countdown and then
you know what? We don't have the $90 one. It's my fault.
Right.
No, it's angel dust. Just sense to the heavens.
Okay. I was like, it's gonna be one of those shows. Awesome.
Magic dust.
Hey, there's Outlaw and my buddy Jason. Hi guys. And Steven.
I was gonna say he's right there up front with being your favorite goalpost. So
yeah.
It should be a fun one there. Jason's saying, "What the heck? Didn't even get to see the countdown."
You can watch it on the replay.
I was gonna say, ask Brian to play it for you next time you guys are recording. So,
thank you and good night.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Great having you, Brian.
I've tried, for the purposes of being able to edit this at some point in the future, I like to, be able to not laugh through this. All right, guys, welcome to the Automotive Podcast, the podcast where you don't build model cars, but it sure does help. This is episode 31. We have our regular crew of miscreants here, along with, down in the Hollywood Square box, Mr. BG, Brian from BG's Model Works, and from a variety of other things, and currently the new co-host of the Model Car Mania Podcast, which just dropped its first episode be 2 weeks ago now, as you guys are seeing this. If you're not familiar with it and you haven't listened to the first episode, it is linked in the description of both the streams, whether you're watching mine or the other James's stream right now. The link to the Buzzsprout to listen to that episode is down there. It should be available on other podcasting formats as well, but sometimes takes a few days for that to sort of sort itself out. I know that I had to listen to it through Buzzsprout because it hadn't popped up on my podcast software yet. So you guys
it's on my watch list.
I would say you guys could... Oh no, not that.
That is a long time callback right there, buddy.
We just travel for people who don't know. We just traveled back about 7 years into the past.
So tonight we have a podcaster on a podcast talking about podcasts.
Yes, it's right. The Inception episode.
Yeah.
So, guys, it's been 2 weeks. I know Mr. Sean has finished a project. Mr. Tester's painting a project. So, what are we all up to here, James?
I'm still working on the Garfield Ferrari 296. I have it packed away for something else, but I did paint the Liberty Walk Lexus.
Oh, neat.
In eye-searing red and polished it out. So it's
very red, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely red. It's like a baboon's. Never mind.
It kind of. And I also printed the new black box 32 Ford 5-window coupe with the Coyote motor. So it's nice. So I'm putting together a video. It'll be out this week sometime.
How long did it take to print that?
3 sessions. So maybe 10 hours.
Okay. All right.
It's not terrible then.
No, it's not terrible.
But then it doesn't have a giant body on it like some of the things would either.
Right.
Right. It's like the difference between printing a me and a James, So
Mr. Tester, my question for you is, which one of your anime decal sheets are you going to put on the 5-window?
Maybe.
Oh, I would love
that. Is there a pre-war Miku that we can dredge up? Is there an old, the old Mickey Mouse compared to the new one? Is there an old anime girl?
Well, yeah, it'd be interesting if she was like in a Zero and she's flying by and she's like.
I did put Miko in that. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. I gotta tell you, on that note right there, just let me interrupt real quick. We have the anime section at the store now, and I'm in there arranging stuff, and I'm like, hey, that's Hatsune. Hey, I know who that is.
It's all John's fault.
I wish I didn't know why I know that, but yeah.
So I had a friend of my daughter come over. My middle one's 14, and her friend was wearing a anti-social social club shirt, which is one of their primary sponsors now. It's like, it's a shirt that actually has the car on it and all the Miku stuff for the current car. And I was like, do you know who that is? Because like I know who that is. We come down to my shrine of Hatsune Miku race car stuff. Do you know why I think that's funny that you have that shirt?
And they're like,
Sean is just like, okay.
I went online to look it up, and that shirt, because it's obviously a Japanese product, to get that shirt in a size that would actually fit this James if you printed it out was like $125, because like you'd have to source it from Japan, and obviously fat people sizes isn't something Japan normally produces clothing, and so
yeah,
I'll pass. Thanks.
S doesn't stand for sumo in that.
No, it does not.
No offense.
So to lighten Sean out of this current state of confusion, what have you been up to?
Let's see. So I've finished up my international travel. I dropped some pictures on my Instagram account today, and I'll have that for Akron. It's done. It turned out really cool. I was very happy with it. And
when I first saw those pictures, I swore those were AI pictures. Very nice.
Thanks. I appreciate that. And then, last weekend we were, Mr. Tester and I both were at, where was that? Zanesville?
Zanesville, yeah.
Yeah. Y-City model car contest. Mr. Tester took home a bunch of hardware.
Three.
3 first place?
No, 2 first place and a third.
The funny thing was you won the light commercial class. I never.
Yeah. That's actually a really good story. Mr. Tester, please explain what it was that won the light commercial class.
I'll just go get it. Hold on.
So I never really thought of Mr. Tester as a light commercial modeler, but apparently he just snuck in and crushed.
Wait, what? That's the light commercial?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's a taxi.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one of those. Taxi, yeah, if
it's
you go
the Apex taxi. It drives people on the Nürburgring. So
exactly.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's a taxi.
You just gave me an idea for all of my builds from now on. I'm just going to put Uber signs in the windows.
There you go. So you're, he disappointed all the tow truck builders and police vehicles. So, what else did you won? What was the other thing you won first place?
The wrapped car in tuners.
Oh, your GT 86.
Yeah.
Nice. Also nice.
Thank
you.
And
I got a third place black too. So my little van that I finished. I built a Jimmy Flintstone Chevy G10 hot rod shop truck van-ish thing. And I haven't posted anything about it online. So as soon as I get done with the cycle of my international travel, then I'll cycle in some pictures of the van. And let's see. So the new things I've been working on, I couldn't decide on what to build. So I started 4. So we'll see.
Perfectly logical.
We'll see which actually moves forward. So I got a couple of things in the on the workbench. So this is a resin body of a AMC Rebel, a 1970 Rebel.
Okay.
And this is just a kind of a quirky AMC car. I'm planning to do sort of a fictional muscle car out of that one. And I'm also got a altered wheelbase 61 Dodge Gasser, which is really
Gasser.
This body I think is an AFX resin body that I got off eBay probably, I don't know, eons ago, and it's just been sitting around, and so I got some plans to do some things with that. And then I got some nice mod top Mopar decals from our buddy Frank back at the NNL East earlier in the year. So I've got some plans to build a couple different mod top Mopars. So
Something that never existed, I'm sure.
Yeah. So we'll see. I'll keep toiling away on those, and then I got a couple other things in the mix too, but I'll save those for. There's a couple things I'm building for NNL East next year, but I'll kind of keep that under wraps till then.
Okay.
I want to get back to NNL East. I want to get back to NNL East so bad. It was a good time.
It was.
That was great.
It's a long ass day.
And then it's over. Yeah.
And then it's just bye, go home, thanks. Yeah.
So before we delve into what Brian's been working on, here is the travel all. So I kind of expected you to hold it up, so I didn't have the picture saved. So
yeah, I've got it in the kind of packed up there, so I don't have it handy. But
has that got like a wood panel down the side also?
Yeah, it has a wood. I made my own wood paneling decals.
Nice. I like that.
I swear, Sean, I'm going to bring the printed version just so that people can see what you started with, because that's nothing like what I gave you.
Don't you hate it when somebody takes your trash and turns it into something beautiful?
Yes,
do you
sir.
Remember the car we were calling Pinky?
Yes. I remember.
Yeah, and I turned that into the car looks like a Zero.
Mm-hmm.
And it came out beautiful. And my friend Joe in Southern California was like just gushing over it. So I gave it to him for Christmas.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, this has gone from James Tester to me to Joe Neff.
Awesome.
And I was like, you just need to pay it forward in your will to somebody else so it makes the rounds.
Yeah. Scale model outlaw. Yes, that is a Coach Builder print.
Oh, he knows his prints. Mm-hmm. Formerly known as prints. I was going to send a picture, but I can't find it fast enough. Let's cut to a commercial. I'm just kidding.
This is to say, hey, no pressure, no pressure.
How's your BMW coming along?
What's that?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Well.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Just
cool. Actually, I was sitting there playing around with this the Hasegawa Mini the other day, and I was talking to Justin J. Hart Model Works because he's working on that 29 Ford pickup truck that he's doing. And, without going into a whole pile of the conversation we had, I had said, and I'll bring this up with Brian and a little bit later, it's like you guys are picking like some of the worst models to start from, and this self-flagellation of like, I'm gonna do a whole bunch of crap to this really old model kit. Okay, great, but it's so frustrating to me. From the base kits that you guys start with. Anyway, he's having his issues with it and working around that, and said that like some part of it, the instructions don't make any sense, right? It's the classic, there's arrows pointing to something, but in real life, those arrows don't correspond to a single thing in the reality of the model. And I have the same thing with this Mini, where there are brackets, big chunky brackets that hold the shocks on, and the directions just say, stick them here, and then point an arrow backwards and up into what would be the upper A arms of the car. And I was like, there's a big slot in the chassis itself that those slot into, but the thing that they're pointing to on the suspension component, there's nothing there. I said, I guess they're just going to sort of free float in air because they don't attach to anything on the lower A arms. They don't attach to anything on the upper A arms. But the arrow says put it backwards and into something. There's a huge, like I said, there's a great big divot there for that bracket to mount into. So like, there's not a situation where I don't know what it glues onto. I just don't know what the top's supposed to attach to. It's one of those floating shock things that so many AMT and Revolt kits have, where it's like, yeah, the shocks go over here. Or like when Brian and I had this discussion when you were building that truck, right? It's like the instructions to an AMT trucks with where you hang the brake chambers off of the chassis and stuff like that. I know where they go because I drive one every day. But if you don't, like, the arrows are just like, yeah, they go back there in the suspension someplace. Good luck.
Oh man, when I was building that rig, I was like, I posted a video, and then I don't know, it was like within the hour after the video was posted, ping, here's Duff. Hey, I'm like, every time I post a video, I'm waiting exactly an hour, and I got to break parts off of this damn thing and re-glue them someplace where they're supposed to go. It's like, I think I got it this time. No, you don't.
I'll say, what was it, Frank, in the Sunday Live 2 weeks ago? I'm the dream crusher.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'd share pictures with you of like, hey, check out what I got, and you're like, nope. Like,
well, I say I know from personal experience of those AMT rigs. It's like, if you don't know how a truck is in real life, those instructions are pretty much useless. And it's like, because there's no direct, well, because you built it, there's no direct attachment points in the first place. Right. So it's not like, oh, this tab slots into this hole. Duh. How can I get that backwards? Then it's vaguely drawn too on top of it all.
Yeah, an old friend of mine used to say, locator pins are for noobs. I'm like, yeah, but what about for big rigs? Can we please? Even one would be nice,
And I think the joke that we had about that was like, at some point, this was sold to children. This was a toy.
Yeah.
10-year-old children were expected to say, ooh, look at this Mac. I want to put this Mac together.
Right.
Okay, so here's a challenge. Okay, build a model of your choosing, but build the model exactly as the instructions say, without looking anything up to correct it. See how well it turns out.
No, I already don't like that, because this Mini Cooper tells you to paint the interior door panels black, and I just glanced at one to see how close the instructions were to matching, because like it has various pieces of this being in Mr. Color Sail, which is sort of like a real light beige or light tan.
Yeah.
And I'm like, do those correspond to where they're supposed to be in real life? Oh, it does. But then of course you look at the actual interior, and like every piece of bracketry in this car is chrome or nickel plated or something shiny. It just has you painted all black, including the door handles and the latches and I'm assuming those are supposed to be good old fashioned ashtrays and stuff like that are in the door too. It's like, I mean, it could be all black. It's a tiny car. I mean, it's the chassis is only this big, so that's the thing that Justin and I came around with. I'm like, it may be free floating in air, but between the fact that it's going to be shoved in the wheel wells and there'll be brakes and tires in front of it, and it's also the size of a gnat's ass, you ain't going to see it anyway. So I'm not really stressing out about where those go. But it was kind of funny that it's like, yeah, it goes here, ish.
Yeah, you'll see it. Yeah. Well, like Revell's fallback thing is, when in doubt, paint it semi-gloss black.
That's right. Everything's semi-gloss black. Unibody chassis, semi-gloss black.
Right. Yeah. I've been underneath a lot of cars for many reasons. Not many of them were semi-gloss black. That's a whole other podcast.
The Kevin Smith Mac R model should be skill level 10.
Yeah. Oh, we had a customer call in the other day asking what build level is a Tamiya kit for the Tamiya Datsun ZG. What skill level is that? And we're like, 9. How's a 4 sound? 4 sound good? Okay, 4 sounds good. We'll tell them 4. All right, great. And then Denise, Andy's wife, is like, the higher the number, the harder the kit. Yeah. So she's like, okay, cool. So now she's just going to tell everybody a ZG
but it kit fits. It'll fit.
Yeah, it'll fit. There's more parts. That's all.
You don't have to chrome plate anything, because all the window surrounds are, those little separate chrome pieces. So you don't have to worry about bare metal foiling the window surrounds. That's already 5 points off right there.
I just wish that they had better wheels and tires in those things. The staggered Watanabes would be perfect. But no, they give you the little, I don't know, it looks like a mashed pea or something like that stuck in the wheel covers.
I agree, but also those are the stock wheels on a ZG. So
you ever notice on the ZG box art for the Hasegawa kit that the wheels are actually photoshopped in?
Yep. They've done enough of those now where it's like, right. I don't know, that's kind of drawn on there, I'm gonna say.
The car that's actually the original box art has the Watanabe wheels on it.
Yeah.
So they came back and fixed that.
It's like the if you look at really closely at the regular box versions of those Hasegawas versus the yellow one that has the ZG nose on it, or the blue one that's the Datsun. Same thing. They've sort of photoshopped the left-hand drive dashboard into it, because we're not redrawing an entirely new box art just because we threw the dashboard into the rally car that then begat you a civilian version of it. Just airbrushing.
Well, we are talking about the company that resin, was it Resin Spoiler, all the things?
Resin Girl, all the things too.
Resin Girl,
that was our shtick there for a good long time. Was, what is it, Brian? Resin Girl, all the things. And they're still doing that too.
All the things.
Resin Spoiler, Resin Chin Spoiler, Resin, window slats for the rear window louvers. Love doing that too.
I got a was it the Mazda Cosmo kit for a birthday gift several years ago. And I was so excited because it had the resin chin spoiler in it. I was like, yes, this is the current issue. And everybody's like, why is this so exciting? I'm like, you don't know, man. You don't know how awesome resin chin spoilers are.
I got the base version this last time in Japan for 1,700 yen. I was like trying to figure it out in dollars. I'm like, that's like $12.
You're just like,
yeah.
Tariffs haven't done us any favors with that, but it's one of the points that I like to make to people when they go into the whole tangent of, well, you expend and understand how expensive Japanese kits are. Now, if you source them out of Japan, and I know there's a shipping charge to this, but like the kits are $12 to $24. They're less than a great deal of American kits now, even with shipping in some cases. You get some of those Fujimi drift cars that they're kicking back out right now. Those are like $10 model kits in Japan. Like even with $14 worth of shipping, it's still only $24.
Right.
Granted, you have a mediocre Fujimi kit at the end of that, but still, it's not as I would say, for people who don't know, Brian now works at Andy's hobby headquarters, hence the shirt if you're watching this online. And so I that's one of the things I wanted to ask you about. So good point to start. So have you sort of got a new appreciation for the hobby, so to speak, now that you're on the business end of it? Because like that was always the shtick of my channel, right? Was like, know the business of your hobby business so that you understand why things are the way they are. Yes.
Well, long answer, yes, with a maybe. Short answer, no, with a but. No, it's actually a lot of fun working there. And, being a car guy, there isn't much people coming in buying cars. So there's a lot more armor folks and a lot more aircraft folks and a lot of Gundam folks coming in there right now. I mean, if we're selling kits, we're selling armor or we're selling Gundam right now. And then when that random weirdo comes in to buy a ship, oh, we have a party. It's like, yay, we sold a ship for $15, yay. But no, seeing what they have to go through in order to just place an order to get some stock in for paint, model kits, tools, whatever, seeing what they have to go through in order to do that and how far out they have to plan everything, it makes absolute sense why you go to your hobby shop and they're out of stuff. It just happens. And I mean, and it's also fascinating to see when we get our Tamiya shipment in, the TS6 and the TS14s are usually the fastest to go. Those are your matte black and your gloss black. And then, of course, TS80, the armor guys love their TS80 flat clears. So as soon as those come in, you got to hide them behind the counter so that people can, come in and ask for them politely rather than just fist fighting out for them. I'm bringing back like Cabbage Patch Kid days, but they're not grandmas; they're just guys. So yeah, it's just fascinating to see. It's like, oh wow, I never even thought about what these guys. I thought they just picked up the phone and Play Store, like, yeah, hey, send me this, and this, But no, there's a whole like song and dance you got to go through in order to get stuff out of suppliers, especially these days right now. Luckily, the store actually has partnered with LSG, and they're out of Canada, and they do supply us with all of the Tamiya, Hasegawa, Fujimi, all that stuff. Oshima, all those car kits and stuff come from them, so we can get those pretty easily and pretty cheaply too. So those are some of the best price kits on the aisles these days.
But they can't get the Mr. Hobby paints, and they can't get the Tamiya paints.
Right.
So you're getting those from somewhere else now, I assume?
Right. So the Tamiya stuff all comes from Tamiya USA out of California, and sometimes they'll run out of stuff too. But Mr. Hobby, we can get. Okay, this is the craziest thing. Remember when you used to live out here and we couldn't find leveling thinner to save our lives?
Right.
Guess what? We have cases and cases and cases of now. But we can't get any of the other stuff. We can't get the Aqueous or the what's the other brands? Krios, I think it is.
Okay.
Having a hard time getting that stuff. So we just have a little bit of it over at the smaller store, as we jokingly refer to as Little Andy's, whereas the warehouse store is Big Andy's. So yeah, if you want to get paint and it's Mr. Hobby stuff, you have to go to the Glendale store, which is that way.
And for our viewers who may not be familiar with Andy's Hobbies, where is that located?
So we have 2 locations right now. We have one in Glendale, Arizona, which is on 59th and Greenway. And the warehouse / store is actually in Tolleson, which is 91st Avenue and Lower Buckeye Road. You can also find them at andyshhq.com.
Say Andy is a long-standing YouTuber, really. I think he's got he's been around as long. I mean, so I had my channel. We didn't celebrate it because, like, who cares about my channel at this point? But like, it was I've been on for like 10 years, and Andy was around like right at that point or shortly before then, and it was, so he's been on the line for 10 years, and I always appreciate Andy's, because I've met him several times at Nationals now, because he takes his booth at the IPMS Nationals every year that I've gone through, because we went to Vegas. I won't say together, but BG and I did not travel together. We were both in Vegas for IPMS Nationals, and then Andy's been at Wisconsin, Texas, and Virginia this year. But like, somebody at some point, many, many moons ago, called Andy a mediocre modeler. And Andy took that insult, ran with it, made an entire apparel line out of it, and then became a whole shtick. Like, I appreciated Andy's ability to run a business. Like that guy, if nothing else, is a very shrewd businessman.
And he's actually really as nice as he is on camera.
Oh, I know. I like talking to him in person, but I just love that. I was always like, "Oh, you're gonna insult me? How about I make a shirt?"
Yeah. I appreciate that. I mean, if I could turn all the insults I've ever suffered into shirts, I'd have a complete wardrobe by now. But he finished this M3 half-track 16th scale thing, so it's a monster thing, right? And he brought it out in a case and put it on the counter to display at the store. And I'm looking at the case, and he's looking at it, and I'm like, wow, you did a really great job with the weathering. And I said, dude, there is nothing mediocre about this. And he did this like really slow look up, like that. And I'm like, huh? He goes, I'll be in my office. I'm like, whoops.
I'll say the other thing about Andy is the fact that now he has 2 stores. And for people who don't do a lot of the stuff at the military range, like Andy has teamed up with DOSWorks and TACM and a couple other companies, and has an entire line of model kits branded as the Andy's Hobby headquarters. 1/6. I think they're all 1/16 scale, but like there's a whole bunch of World War II armor on both sides of the war, and I think there's the half tracks, not a half track, but the what is it, like an M110 or something like that. That's a newer sort of armor piece that TACM did that he has a copy of as well. Like, there's only one other hobby shop I know of that has their own product line, and that's Domino in Belgium that owns bell kits. Like, to be a hobby store that makes enough money, for just lack of a better way to look at it, to have their own product line, that's really something.
Yeah, that is amazing. And he's doing really well with it. They're talking about working on another 16 scale model, but that's all super hush hush. They haven't talked about what they're going to do.
Oops.
But yeah, right. But they haven't mentioned what they want to work on, but they do want to do another one. So they just want to keep that going. So I think that's pretty awesome. I'm like, so when are you gonna hook up with Tamiya and start getting some Andy's Hobby Headquarter car kits? He's like, I'll be in my office, you know.
If we've learned nothing else in this conversation, Bryan sends Andy to his office all the time.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah, I get pretty much the same feedback from our local IPMS chapter when I'm like, hey, how about adding some more car categories? Huh? Hey, how about that? And they're like, yeah, go wait in the car. Oh, okay, great. So, yeah. I don't know if you guys know that I'm a head automotive judge for the IPMS out here now.
Ooh.
I say that would be the Model Zona, right?
Yeah, that's the Model Zona here coming up on November 1st. Sweaty palms time. Yeah, so it turns out that the Spirit of Speed show in Pomona is the next day. So we're probably not going to have a large turnout.
Yeah, I remember it was a big show.
Yeah. Have you ever had a chance? I don't think you ever had a chance to go there.
I never got a good chance to go, no.
Okay. Well, you know what? There's room in the car.
Okay.
Yeah. There's a seat open in a Subaru that'll be leaving at 5 p.m. Saturday night.
Okay.
But yeah, so the plan is to do the judging at the Model Zona show Saturday, load everything in the car, and then head out to Southern California that evening, stay over at a hotel, and then go to the show the next day at the Pomona show at the NHRA Museum, do that, and then rack out for the night, and then hit Pegasus Hobbies the next morning on Monday, and then drive home. Yeah, and Robert Judson, who I saw in the chats here, he's going to be flying out. I think we're still a go for him to ride with me on that. And I'm trying to get Johns Weber suckered into that too.
It would be awesome.
Just trying. I don't know if he's in the chats or not, but yeah.
No, he doesn't watch us.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does.
No, he does? I didn't know that.
He does, yeah. But you guys are always on at a bad time for me. I mean, I had to duck out of work to get here. Duff was saying, yeah, I was like, oh, sorry, Andy, I have to leave my job so I can go be on a podcast. I'm like, as a matter of fact, I exactly said that.
Because you'd reached out to me about being on, and I was like, oh yeah, here's some dates, and you picked one, and I was like, oh, that's cool, because I had heard through the grapevine being this one here with his comment about holding things above your head while you're judging, that there was going to be some upcoming activity with you guys. Yeah, exactly. Where's your flashlight? So like I was like, this when the date you picked is great because it'll be right after the first episode drops and all that stuff. And I'm like, he does realize there's a 3-hour time difference, right? It's going to be like 5.
Well,
and now you got this like actual job like
yeah,
job.
Hey, well, being a house husband is a job, especially for Mrs. BG.
Prior to COVID, you had you're working out of your house on with the other job that you're working there. So right. Like, but you obviously made your own schedule with that. So I needed you at 5:30. That wouldn't have been a great big deal. But now you have a job where people expect you to show up and clock in.
This job is so much easier than the previous job because it is not easy being a male escort while working out of the house.
That's right. You got to vet.
They got to come
during COVID, right?
During COVID, yeah. Masks for everybody. So yeah. Yeah, people ask me like, "Oh, you're a house husband, huh?" I'm like, "Yeah, I was house husband." Like, well, what do you think? I'm like, well, actually, I rebranded myself as a house gladiator. I was a domestic gladiator because at the end of the day, I was waiting for this. Yeah, that's my story.
There's no way I would trade jobs with my wife. That's a hard job.
It is. And what's crazy is it's like, oh, I'll go do some yard work now, right? So I go out with the string trimmer for 4 hours, cutting down the weeds in the backyard, and then come inside. I think I'll do some modeling, but you haven't used the string trimmer in 2 months, so it's like my arm's dead. I can't hold anything, So yeah, fun stuff.
I have to cook some dinner now.
Yeah, right. Well, do you remember our build nights? where I get a phone call from Linda and I'd have to excuse myself from the table for an hour while I go heat up her pizza. Yeah, I miss those days.
Those were gold, man. They were gold.
Yeah. Do you have that picture I sent you? Are you able to share that to the...
Oh, let me send it to James. He's the one that...
Okay.
Yeah.
Pop back into Facebook here so I can receive it. So what, Bryan, what else? I mean, the channel's been a little quiet because obviously you've been very busy. What are you, what are you working on?
Okay. Well, I am working on, I'm taking some time off of doing group builds so I can work on the Shelf of Shame, which is just up there. Because I want to get some stuff done that we never got finished, like our 70 Oldsmobile Tornado from Johan.
Neat.
Wow.
Johan. Yeah, this is Splash Paints Olympic Gold with their 2K clear and a pretty snazzy polish job as far as I'm concerned.
I think that's cured by now. It's been about 3 years.
It's been 3 years exactly, as a matter of fact. Yeah. I was testing because Chuck was
wine.
Chuck was telling me, "Oh, you got 2 weeks. 2 weeks on a clear coat, and then you'll never be able to polish it." I'm like, "I'm gonna go 3 years, and I'll prove you wrong." And then we have what I consider to be the worst box art ever for a model car kit. This Fujimi Porsche.
Oh yeah, it's going in a racetrack, and we took it in the rain, so
yeah.
Oh, it's the only picture of it that exists.
And I think it's a Polaroid. But this guy, we got our final coat of paint on him yesterday. The lights are making it look a little pale. I've got my hands in the way. So I got the final coat of paint on there. And this is just Rattle Can TS, 35, I think it was, part green. A little bit lighter than I was hoping it would be, but I've had so many issues with just doing the body work on this guy that I'm decided that it's good enough. And then we have most of the chassis done. No engine. It's just a little pan on the bottom.
Shit, that's done.
It's basically done. I just got to fit the rear piece on there, and it doesn't want to fit on very well. So I failed to check that out first. When I was doing my white glue mock-up, everything went great, and now it decided to change shape. So there's that guy. I got a NASCAR someplace, and then this guy, the 66 Malibu, which has been on hiatus right now. We're doing a twin turbo, and we're calling this one the Maliboosted, but we got Iceman's front clip in there.
Ooh,
Malibusa.
And we're using the kit suspension. I think that'll work out well. I like the stance that it has.
Yeah.
So it's gonna look great. I don't know what that is. But, yeah, we're using the LS twin turbo engine in that one.
Nice.
And this is the front clip that we're using. Well, we actually had to slice that down the center and take out 5 millimeters to narrow it up, so it would fit in there and everything. Well, the front wheels have such a wide stance, so we had to narrow that up so we could get the wheels inside, because I did not want to flare the fenders. And last but not least, we just did the bare metal foil on the tail lights for our little Hasegawa / Revell Toyota rally car. Definitely not a Tamiya. Thank you, James. But yeah, so I just clear coated the decals since they're like 20 years old. I clear coated those the other day in the large spray booth, also known as the garage. So I think those are cured enough now. I can start decaling it, but I was really nervous because I did the decals on the seats for the what do they call it, seat belts. I freaking hate decal seat belts. I wish they had just not done those and then put in some actual photo etch or whatever. But they were breaking and snapping every time I tried to position them. So I'm like, okay, that's really a good sign of I need to actually clear coat those decals.
Would you
because there's a lot
with?
I found this buried in the back of my paint cabinet. And is it gonna there it
testers?
Is. Yep.
Decal
ball.
Oh wow! Okay.
Wow! I didn't know that existed.
I sprayed this, and I almost had to call in sick to work because I'm like, I don't think I can see straight anymore. Yeah, I found that at Hobby Lobby, if I remember. No, wait, I take that back. No, Hobby Depot. Remember Hobby Depot?
Yep.
Yeah, I found that like in the back of the store someplace, and it was like the last can he had, so I'm using it sparingly. That's all for automotive. If you want to move into the world of Gundam, I got some of those on the bench, but you don't need to know about that.
Nobody. Those aren't real models.
Yeah, right. No, actually, as a matter of fact, at the there we are. So look at those kids, right?
Yeah.
So there's Mrs. BG in the background, and then to her right is James, and of course, and then there's John's Weber over across the table, and then that's my nephew Jake peeking his head in there. And every Thursday night, I think it was, every single Thursday night, we would get together, order a pizza, and build models, and then gripe about YouTube.
That's a 1940 Ford, James. What in the world?
Yes, it is.
Yep, very good, man. That's the original USAC build.
Oh, yes. Honestly, the commentary I have to that, but never mind. Which is less about the actual concept of it and more about the kit choices that were made the first several years of that.
You know,
it's still back there.
Right on.
I still have it.
I haven't even done my entry video for this year yet, and I'm over a month overdue already for it, which is pretty on par for me these days. Yeah. Yeah.
So don't sound so excited. Well, I mean, it is that kit is what it is. It is vintage in every way, shape, and form, good and bad.
I had fun working on the 44, and you know those USAC builds. I got to build stuff that I would never have picked up off the shelf to build.
Right.
I think every single year, the 40 Ford, the Plymouth Roadrunner, yeah, and that one was a lot of fun. Let's see, what was it? Was it the Ford pickup truck?
Yeah, that 55.
Yeah, that's when
Ford.
I stopped.
Yeah. Jack. Yeah, no, okay. Did you guys? I don't know if you heard about what happened to me. I had a kit, and I had done pre-assembly and discovered that the bed was warped and stuff didn't fit together right. So I tossed it on the shelf, and I got a second kit because, like, just then Andy had gotten that gigantic, like,
used kit. Yeah,
the 3000 kit thing, right? So there was several of those models there. So I went back and bought another one for $20. And got it home, opened up. Yep, this one fits together perfect. Okay, cool. Set it aside until I get a plan in my head of what I wanted to do. And I finally stumble across a plan. So I jump into it. I tackle it. I'm building it. I'm getting all. This kit sucks so bad. I'm just having the hard fitment issues. Good thing I'm not building that crap one on the shelf over there. That should be. Why is there a hole where that's supposed to be at? Oh crap, I'm actually building the crappy one. I need to label stuff. So yeah, I ended up building the crappy one. So now I have a nice one still sitting on the shelf that I might actually do a good job with someday. Someday. Oh yeah, this is all someday. Linda's
Your
friend
ring is shrinking there, Brian. Just saying.
No, I'm just getting bigger. Linda's good friend came in from Southern California last night, and she stopped by the house to hang out. And she's a car person, right? Her friend Kelsey, and she comes into the room here to just see what the space is like. And she's like, "Oh my God, are these all unbuilt?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "How many do you have?" I'm like, "I'm not at liberty to tell you that."
You don't have security clearance for that information.
Right, exactly. But no, she actually owns a 32 Ford that she's modified for salt flat racing.
Ooh.
Right. It's got and she's running a flathead V8 with a 671 supercharger and a single quad carburetor on there. And I've been commissioned to build a copy of that for her. And
you need to.
Oh yeah, dude, this thing is so freaking beautiful. It's a beautiful car. And it's numbered 518, so she just calls it the 518. I'm like, that's actually kind of cool. But she was checking everything out. But I'd seen pictures on Facebook of her engine and stuff, right? So I'm like, okay, I got to get the details right. Oh, it's probably going to have Edelbrock heads. I look, take a close look at it. No, it doesn't have Edelbrock heads. Take a closer look. Oh, maybe they're Navarro heads. No, they're not Navarro heads. So then I had to ask her, what type of heads do you have on that engine? She's like, oh, these are Baron heads. I'm like, okay, I got to go look that up. So I had to do a Google search on that and found out, okay, Baron heads are pretty awesome because I think they're a little more rare, but they've been around for forever. And they're double thick. So they have a higher water jacket, a higher capacity water jacket going through there for better cooling. And I was telling her about Josh from BCG Resins had sent me one of those Christmas tea cars to build, and it had the really weird looking what they call jiggler heads on that car, on that flathead. Now, for people that are watching, if you're gonna Google search jiggler heads, make sure your safety things are
Oh, I was just gonna say this is a family show. What are we talking about?
Yeah, I was like, oh, my eyes. So yeah, but I was asking her, like, do you know what jiggler heads are? She's like, how do you know about that? I'm like, well, I just happen to know things, And she's like, I was telling her that the friend of ours prints these and stuff like that. She's like, yeah. I said, also, my friend does Auburn heads. I think is it Auburn heads, the big giant.
Yeah.
Auburn. Yeah. Anyway, the big giant. Yeah. And she's like, man, I would kill a person for a set of those. I'm like, oh, okay. Do you want me to put those on your car? She's like, no, just do the Baron heads. I'm like, okay, great. So I asked around to see if somebody could design those, and I actually found. It turns out I was directed to a person I was already friends with, Ben Mossing, and I contacted him, and I'm like, yeah, Ben, Iceman said to talk to you about this. He says you're already a big fan of flatheads, so he's like, what do you want? So I sent him pictures, and he's like, I've never seen these before. Let me see what I can do. And like 6 hours later, he had a mock-up done. He's like, what do you think? I'm like, holy crap, dude. He's like, yeah, okay, I'll print you off a set of these. Like, sweet.
Awesome.
So yeah, it's really awesome to have those kind of connections in the community where you can just be like, hey, do you know anybody that would be able to? Yeah, I think I know a guy. He might be able to put you. So it's just like in the real car world. It's like, hey, know anybody who can polish a set of heads? Yeah, I think this guy will do it for you. Take a case of beer and your parts and see what he does for you. So it's just on a much smaller scale. Hey, Onyx, there he is. I haven't talked to Onyx in forever.
Let's see, Justin Ryan, officially known as Rescue Ryan, has popped into the chat there and made an airplane quote that I'm not sure that Jason got or not, but I've not spoken to Justin in person, but anybody who can quote airplane to me could be best friends. So
yeah,
because if you can do a Leon's getting larger joke in reference to your room getting smaller, I can appreciate that. Pour lights out on the runway. Brian, I don't know that anybody who's literally watching this right now doesn't know the backstory, but where does Brian's modeling journey get its beginning?
Oh, okay. Well, if you want to do airplane references, first the Earth cooled.
That's right. Then the dinosaurs were on there.
Then the dinosaurs came, and they all died and left us plastic. So the irony in that is that we now make plastic dinosaurs out of dinosaurs. Something that'll keep you awake at night.
That's right.
That, and how do they get the olives in olive loaf? Yeah, so my modeling journey started when I started building for myself when I was 10, but it started before that. My dad would just buy, because he was a model builder, he would buy kits and then bring them home, and then he would build them for me to have displayed on my shelf. And he knew they were going to get destroyed. I was a car kid. I love cars. I was the guy who always I should say kid, always had Hot Wheels in my pockets and stuff, So as an adult, I only have the one Hot Wheel in my pocket at all times. But I didn't get to building until I was about 10, and we were on Christmas break. And I'd gotten some stuff for my birthday, which was before Christmas. So we're on Christmas break. I thought, you know what? I'm just going to tackle these myself. So I got out the tools and the paint and everything, and I started working on it myself. And I was having a good old time. They look like absolute poop. But, I mean, brush painted the the Monogram Z2869, the one that's got the weird greenhouse on that. Right. I painted that with a brush, the Tester's white handle brush with the plastic black bristles that left more streaks than paint. I'm like, if you want to do a good wood effect, that's probably the right paintbrush. But it was, yeah. So I painted that out, built it all myself, and I was very proud of it. And my dad was giving me pointers here and there because I'd watched him build when he would do stuff. I'd hold the flashlight for him while he's building a car. And so I was trying to do those techniques and everything. And then one day, my mom's friend at work, her son used to also build models, and he was the same age as me. So one day, my mom comes home from work, and she's like, what was her name? I don't know. Her name's Loretta now. Loretta says that she had to leave work early so she could take her son to the emergency room and get stitches because he cut himself real bad with his hobby knife. I'm like, well, okay.
It was the end of yours, right?
Yeah. So it was like, give me your knife. I'm like, oh, okay. Because, there is nothing else in the world you can use except a hobby knife to cut parts, right?
Right.
Because we just don't think that way. So, I mean, even a sharpened screwdriver would work for scraping chrome off.
Prison shank, right?
Exactly. Yeah. I was making one out of my lunch tray. So, I got all my model stuff confiscated, and I could only work on it when my parents were home. So that meant setting up at the kitchen table with a giant Tester's plastic mat, that unfolded like 9 different times. And
I remember that.
Found out was not knife proof. So dining room table in the garage. And when you slit that, it's not self-healing, so any paint you get on that also just goes onto the table too. It's awesome. Good times. Fingernail clippers, right. I had a set of those too, but I just started building, and then it was too hard to make a shiny car. So I thought, I'll do airplanes. So I started making airplanes. Well, those are too hard to mask the canopies. That shiny car thing wasn't such a bad idea. Maybe I'll go try that. I just kept flipping back and forth between airplanes and cars for like a couple decades. And then when I was up in Oregon, I had to move back to Arizona. So I sold off nearly all of my model stash. All the airplanes I had, any sci-fi stuff I had, I sold it all off. And I only kept like 10 model car kits. And then when I moved down here to Arizona, I ended up meeting and marrying Mrs. BG. And speaking of whom, she's on the phone yelling at somebody right now. Maybe it's the cable guy. So got this awesome hobby space because we had a 4-bedroom house. Technically, it used to be a laundry room, but somebody at some point decided to make it into a bedroom, so they moved everything out to the garage. So I took over this space, and she's like, yeah, you can, if you want to get into model building and stuff, that's great. You can go ahead and do that. So I'm like, okay. And I have this theory that styrene generates static electricity and collects more styrene. It just sort of just shows up. It just shows up on the porch or in the back of the car or whatever. So, but she's a really good enabler. She's an excellent enabler. And if any of you guys in the chat or watching have seen me and Mrs. BG at a show, I'm usually the guy walking around with a stack of kits under my nose, heading out to the car to put them in there. Meanwhile, she's picking out more, because in the early days she was like, we have the means, where we have the opportunity, just buy some model kits, and that way, if they ever get too expensive, whatever, you got all this stuff you can work off them. All you need to do is afford paint and glue. I'm like, okay, I'm down with that theory, But she's the one that got me into the Tamiya stuff because she's like, well, you're spending this much money on this AMT kit that you really complain about a lot. What if you just spend a couple dollars more and get a better model kit? I'm like, really? You don't mind me? She's like, yeah, especially if it's going to make you complain less. I'm like, okay. So I haven't built any of them. I'm waiting to get better. That's my excuse. I'm waiting to get better. But no, actually, I want to dive into these things so bad. It's just I get sidetracked with this kind of stuff sometimes. But yeah, that's pretty much the journey in a nutshell.
I think Iceman started coming to the Mafia meetings right after I left, which is a shame because I never got to meet him.
Well, come out here for a visit. I'll introduce you.
All right.
Yeah.
So be it. On
our way out to the Pomona show. No, Joel's awesome, dude. Awesome. He's pretty awesome. As a matter of fact, on my way home from work, he's exactly halfway on the way home from work. So sometimes I'll text him and I'm like, hey, got anything going on? He's like, no, I'm pretty quiet tonight. How about you? I'm like, me too. Okay, if I stop by, sure. So like, yeah, right on. Great place to stop off and use the restroom. But it's sometimes I get to shop his store, and he's got a gigantic closet with this wheelie bin that's just got trays all over it, both sides, and it's just parts, right? And then he's got pegboards, and all of his engines and stuff are all pre-bagged and just on these pegboards all around his room. And then I just go and I'm like, do you have a? He's like, yeah, I got 3 of those. Which version do you want? I'm like, I like the middle one. Okay, there's the middle one. So I build up a little pile, zell him some money, and then head home.
I have this theory. Can he cure his stuff outside? Or does he use the UV?
I haven't seen him doing anything like that, but I mean, yeah, where's the best source of UV light at, right?
Right. Arizona.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. All of outside.
300 days a year, right?
Yeah. We got so much.
95 degrees, getting chilly out there.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, we had a lady in the store the other day. It was 85 degrees and she had a jacket on in the store. I'm like, probably stealing stuff. But that's just back to my liquor store experience. That's all. That one person walks in and it's kind of like, narrow the eyes. I'm like, all right, I'm going to keep an eye on that one. But yeah, I don't know if he does or not. My buddy Chris does. You remember Chris Rohde? I don't know if he was in the club. Yes. Yeah, I think he cures stuff outside. He washes it and cures it outside.
Yeah. I don't see why you couldn't.
Yeah, yeah, especially if you're doing trays and stuff. I just think you'd need to keep a good eye on it because
it might melt.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Warpage and all that kind of jazz. So I don't know, set a timer or something.
Flip. So what's the flammability of resin? Could it burst spontaneously combust if left in the Arizona sun for too long?
Yeah. Well, I am the guy that built the auto car dump truck, and the actual dump bed was twisted. Once they got it all built, it was twisted. So I rubber banded it to a nice chunk of wood and left it on my dashboard while I went shopping at Costco for an hour. And when I came back out to the car, it was all nice and straight and everything. And I just turned on the air conditioner and put it in front of the vent, cooled it down. Aces, man, perfect. We had at the store, Andy has this gigantic Ducati motorcycle that is all metal. And you have to nut and screw it together, right? And they're supposed to put this gigantic rear tire on this metal rim, and it would not fit on there. So he went out and put the tire in his car for 45 minutes and then came inside, carrying the tire and smushed it onto the rim. And then when it cooled, it shrank right onto that thing. It's like, that's never coming off. Yeah, so that it can be handy. It can be handy, the heat anyways. Is that your teddy bear collection, Duff?
Yes, exactly. My wife would say this become a running gag, right? So this teddy bear is like a Valentine's Day thing, and I stuck it back there because underneath that beige thing is my spray booth, right? I have one of those. I have one of the old school Artograph 1530s, the one that's downdraft. It pulls through the bottom, and if I didn't put anything on it, the cats will lay in it. So I put the cover over top of it. So the cats just were like, "Oh, look, now there's a blanket on our bed." So they started laying on that. I've put model kits in there for a while, but then every time you want to use the air booth, you got to take all the model kits off of it. So yeah, I just started stuffing that in there. People started making fun of it, being like, "Oh, there's a teddy bear back there." So my wife, this past Valentine's Day, got the pig. She's like, "Oh, so if they're gonna comment about it, here's something else for them to talk about."
Right. I was waiting for you to be like, "Yeah, I'm just going to use those as my filters, right? If I need to." It's my spare filter.
I noticed. My Artograph got bought out by another art company, and as part of their getting bought out, that new company didn't want anything to do with the spray booth, so they went away. And me and another guy literally bought all of the new old stock parts for them, all the blowers and everything, because we're like, we'll never be able to get parts for these things ever again. Not that I use mine enough for it to fail, but we got a whole bunch of the pieces and parts for them. They're designed to vent like out into the room, right? You're supposed to use three levels of filters, including like an activated charcoal one. I got, because obviously, if you know anything about like industrial zoning, you can't dual vent a dryer, so I had to get a piece of PVC pipe to dual vent into a single vent, and then it's out the window. That's why there's a curtain on that window, covers the vent. And it's like cool. I have this thing. I guess if it ever breaks, I'll get one of the paste booths that everybody has, because I like having it's 1530 is the measurement. It's 15 by 30. It's huge. I love having that big of an area to spray in, and paste makes a giant booth too. I went online looking to see if I could find the filters, because they used to sell there's like a top filter. It's very, very thin. I could probably go to Lowe's and
good Lord, dude.
Let's say it's like a 15 deep by 30 wide.
Well, are you painting ships?
Yeah, I could. Ships, tractor trailers, anything you need. 2 models at once if I was be so ambitious.
2 models at once. Oh, let's not get too crazy.
But they used to sell the filter material either in individual sheets or in a roll of like 50 feet of it. And obviously you'd be 30 inches at a time, and 50 feet would last forever, especially at the rate I use it. Went online, and Micromark now has the rights ability, whatever, to make those. And when I bought that thing, it was just under $300, and that's got to be 5, 6, 7 years ago. Micromark wants almost $800 for that thing, and I said, "Now I know that's Micromark's shtick, right? How do you want to spend a lot of money on a tool? Buy it through Micromark." And I was like,
"Yeah,
holy mother of God, that's literally 150% more than it used to cost." And it's it's American made, like that.
The same one.
That was the shtick of it. It's like it's metal. It's got a Perspex roof to it, and plexiglass. I'm going to look at that. It's got a clear roof to it, and it's sheet metal sides, and then there's metal bottom with two industrial fans in it that vents out the bottom, and it was all U.S. parts. It was why does that suddenly cost that much? But I can get pre-filters for it. That was all I really cared about. I can get the 50 feet of pre-filter because I only had one more pre-cut one left. But yeah, that's that. If you've never shopped Micromark before, don't. It's too expensive. There's your public service announcement for the hobby right there.
Yeah, I've been down the path of trying to make my own air booth, because the little suitcase style ones, the little cute little guys that box up real nicely, and the portable ones. I'm like, why would I need it to be portable? I'm not going to paint the living room today. So, everybody's got one of those, but I thought, well, let's see if I could build something that I could put in the room here that I could just exhaust out the window. So they were having this awesome sale on Harbor Freight, which would be the other end of the spectrum from Micromark.
Right.
So I got their media blaster cabinet and got it home, took out several of the screws, and then dropped the hopper plate out of the bottom. And then just used some chunks of wood and stuff, braced it up inside there, screwed it all back together again. And I put 2 of those little suitcase box fans in there and had them exhaust out the bottom, set it on a cart and had the tubes come out the bottom and just exhaust out. The problem was I had to make this weird J turn type of thing to go up into the window. So I just started using it in the garage. Well, that thing had so much draw. Oh, it also has these big giant leather gauntlets that go in there, right? So you don't cut a finger off. I couldn't feel what I was doing. I had the airbrush depressed the whole time I'm setting stuff up. I didn't realize it was going because I couldn't feel anything, and I can't hear the actual airbrush spraying either. So because it's so loud, and I go to do my color pass, and I get halfway down the body, and and I'm like, where'd all my paint go? And I got sucked away. So then, okay, well, I'll cut the gauntlets off so I can just stick my hands through and then just wear gloves. Okay, great. Tried that, fired it all up. And when those fans kicked in, the gauntlet sleeves like fluffed up because of the air coming through there. And I was still getting little bits of fuzz and stuff on the actual model because it's drawing across the model and then down. Turns out it was my arm hair coming off and getting sucked in, and then the dander. So it's like, okay, that's not going to work out really well. So that actually became a curing cabinet out in the garage, and then I ended up taking an IKEA rack and then covering it with the corrugated plastic sheet, like cardboard almost, and making this enclosure, and then putting in those two little box fan things in the corner to exhaust out. And that actually works. I can actually spray paint in that thing now and not have a problem with filtration. But yeah, that. Oh, and then when I first built that, it just kept adding more and more things to it. I had little wheels on the bottom so I could wheel it around the garage.
Yeah, like you had like a roll for not toilet paper, but paper towels. I remember.
Yeah, remember that? Well, I had built it in here because I thought I'll keep it in here. And I'm like, okay, this is too big to have in here. So I thought, well, I got wheels on it. I'll wheel it out to the garage. The thing's 7 feet tall, and I put it on 2-inch casters, and now I can't get it out through the door. So I went out to the garage and got this jigsaw and just came back in and cut the top of the thing off. So it's all wonkified on the top and stuff. I'm not a carpenter by any means. And wheeled it out to the garage and set it out there. But the extra weight that I had on that thing, and the fact that it was in a 105-degree garage most of the time, the wheels turned into old chewing gum and took a set. So the next time I went out to go grab that thing and wheel it out from the corner, it actually started to tip over on me like a soda machine. I'm like, my first thought that goes through my head is, I'm going to be the front page of the Darwin Awards this year. So I was able to save it. I put it back up. I tore it all apart and I rebuilt it. I put like really heavy duty wheels on it and stuff now. And I still use that thing almost every month. I got that thing wheeled out and I'm using it. But if you want advice on how to build a spray cabinet for your garage, I can tell you what not to do.
Right.
First of all, don't live in Arizona and paint outside. That what was his name? Gosh, James, who's the guy that you got to meet at one of the shows that passed away recently? Used to do awesome paint jobs on car bodies. Did a whole DVD set.
Don Yost.
Don Yost. People are always like, well, Don Yost says you can do a dust-free atmosphere. I'm like, no, you can't. I'm here to prove that. Yeah. So that's my thing.
Do you airbrush, or you mentioned using spray cans? Do you have an airbrush too, or?
Oh yeah, I actually do a little bit of both. I splurged. I went out and got myself a Harder and Steenbeck airbrush.
Ooh, fancy.
Oh yeah. I have it mounted on a very nice wooden plaque. It's hanging on my over my fireplace. That's a work of art. That thing is a beautiful airbrush. I mean, it's all brass and chrome and everything. It's very steampunk looking, and I've actually started getting more used to airbrushing, and I actually have an air booth in the house now. So when I use acrylic paints, I can paint no problem. Linda was able to bring home a little like workstation thing from her job when they were closing up the branch. She snagged one of these things, so it actually has an adjustable height, so I can put it where I need it to be rather than have to sit down to paint. But most paint jobs are rattle can, especially if it's going to be like a hurry up and get it done type of thing. So going back and forth between rattle can and airbrush is kind of difficult because it's two different painting techniques.
That's for sure.
You don't want to do this with an airbrush. And so and when I'm rattle canning, it's like, where's my car body at? It's like the craziest thing because I'm like doing quick shots all over, rotating the whole thing while I'm spraying, so it all gets covered and doesn't have a, you don't get the dry spots here and there. So when I'm airbrushing, it's very methodical. It's back and forth and yeah. And then still trying to get the clear coat thing. I still get the orange peel and the clear coat, but it is what it is.
Sam doesn't come down and visit anymore now that John's gone, right?
Nope. No.
Sam from Splash Paints, sorry.
Right. Yeah. Now we have been in Oregon and got a chance to hang out with them.
Okay.
And I was begging, it's like, can you take me to your shop and show me what you? No. Oh, okay. Just straight. No. Like, all right. I'm not going to sell your secrets. I promise. I just want to see the paint setup. No. Okay. But yeah, no.
Sam still hangs out with John because he was at Nats in Wisconsin. Flew to Minnesota, and John drove him over in his BMW.
Well, I bet that was a fast trip.
I imagine it probably was. I was walking. If you've never been to Madison, Wisconsin, it's a very walkable city. Everything is like right at downtown as far as restaurants go from where the convention center and the host hotel was. And so I'm just walking down the street going to get breakfast, and they come hurtling down the road to go into the convention center parking lot. I was like, "Hey, John's here." It's like, "How do you know?" I said, "You almost ran me over." That's how I know.
He got like is it an M4?
Yes.
Yeah, M4. Yes. That thing, we used to joke because when he would leave build nights, he would wrap it down the street and then make a right turn and get on Alma School and head down to the freeway. And of course, it's like 10 o'clock at night. So he would punch that thing. And like that car did not sound good to my ear until he got up to 80 miles an hour. Otherwise, it just sounded like a twin turbo tractor.
Probably not really that far off, really.
I'm probably going to get a text here any second. What? But dude, build nights at the house were awesome because in the driveway it would be Challenger, BMW M4, and people are like, what's going on over there? Oh, nothing, just drugs.
We're filming Fast and the Furious Part 11. Don't mind.
Right, exactly.
So let me get this out of the way before I turn it over to anybody else who has questions. You've been on YouTube, I think, listening to the podcast for 7 years now.
Yeah.
So you came on 3 years after I did. So that's how we became friends, was through, as you point out, me coming through and correcting you all the time. And so I just wanted to say, because I don't think I've ever told you this before, that in those 7 years, you were one of the people that I've been sort of most proud to know because I've actually seen you improve over those 7 years.
Well, thank you.
The models that I'm not saying the models you made in 7 years were crap, but like I've literally seen you significantly progress over the course of the years. When you came on YouTube, it was right in that sort of crux of the argument of like, you don't have to improve. You could just stay the same forever and blah, blah, blah. What was going on in the background of the YouTube community at the time. And it was always sort of a silly thing to me because I was like, what other hobby would you be in that you wouldn't try to get better at? It's not like you go, I'm going to go play golf and suck at it forever because walking around in the heat isn't bad enough. Let me be really bad at it too. So, so I sincerely want to say, all the jokes aside that we made and will make here, that I really, have appreciated the fact that you've gotten a lot better over the course of the years.
Well, thank you very much.
Your subject matter choices still leave me cold sometimes. These really weird old model kits, but
hey, I pick model kits for me, man.
I just, because you guys touched on it again on your podcast, and we're gonna have the rest of them on next episode. And it's one of those things like, I'm not good enough to build that black box Tamiya kit. No, I'm pretty sure having watched you go through your progression for the last 7 years, you're good enough. You can go ahead and leave the $10 ollie kits alone now, and go ahead and build the good stuff behind you there.
What's an ollies?
Yeah, I know you don't know.
We don't have those here. I've actually had to call people on the East Coast like, hey, I heard Ollies has a sale on such and such. Can you get me one? So they got the $10 kit for me, and then it cost another, I don't know, $19 in shipping. I'm like, I should have just got on Amazon.
There was a point in time before Mr. Tester moved back to Ohio that I think it was when the Volkswagen Rabbits were getting blown out for $8. I had to go in there and shopping cart out a bunch of stuff for various people, including him. We don't have all these in Arizona. Well, you're not missing out on a lot.
Yeah, we don't think we have an equivalent to that here.
No, I don't think so.
The whole state's pretty much an ollies. So,
well, what was the guy's name that always had the model kit sales out of his backyard?
Oh, Bernie.
Yeah, we'd just go to Bernie's house because he had everything.
Right, and it was like $9.
Right.
Yeah, he's still doing that.
Is he?
Everything's $10 now. He's gone up. It's $10 now.
$10 now. Okay.
Thank you. I'm like, I know I'm paying $1 more per kit, but thank you for making the math easy. I actually scored from him the Meng Hummer H1 kit.
What?
Yeah, $30. I'm like, do you know what this is? He goes, yeah, I just don't want it. I'm like, okay. And then, do you remember that guy Mike the storage facility we used to go to over?
Yes.
Yep. So unfortunately, he's passed away recently.
Okay.
Yeah, but he was selling off all of the stuff. Dan Doan talked him into just getting rid of stuff, make some money, right? So Bernie bought the lion's share of his stock, and Bernie was just blasting stuff out. And every time we would go there, I was always trying to work Mike into giving me a better deal for the Tamiya DB7.
Oh, right. The Aston Martin, right.
Right, because he wanted $200 for it.
Right.
Got it for Bernie for $30. I'm like, all I had to do is wait. Just had to wait. Like, all I have to do is wait 2 years and I can get it from Bernie. Bernie's bargain barn.
Yep.
Yeah, Kevin, backyard in Arizona, the sales are early and not often. But yeah, I can't believe Bernie's still doing that. But we have a guy that's part of our club now. His name is Mike Chalawa, and he has a inside line to Mobius.
Okay.
And Mobius / Model King, right? So he'll be like, he'll come up to us and be like, hey, look, I've been told I'm going to get some of the Mercury Comets in. Who wants what? And everybody's like, I'll take a couple. He's like, okay, great. And the next meeting, he comes up with a list and a couple of cases, and he's like, okay, starts parceling them out to people. And I'm like, I want the tow truck. He goes, okay, I got a case coming in next month. I'll get you a tow truck out of that, And then the last meeting he had, hang on, I got to move a stack. Yeah, these guys. That Mobius took over the molds on, and I wasn't too into it until I saw this car here on the side, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's the way right there. So yeah, he's got boxes of these now.
We were just at the Zanesville show last weekend, and there was a guy, as I was checking out, that was buying 6 of those. He just had
really?
Wow. 6 of them. Yeah.
All the same style?
Same, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I was like, wow.
I'll say we are, for the people who will end up listening back to this in audio format, we're talking about the old Galaxy Limited Chevys that Mobius now has the tooling to. And I could see the coupe being one of those things because with Gary passing away, there was only ever one run of the coupes. So it was, if you didn't get one before they sold out, you never got one.
I didn't know Gary passed away. That's why things were going the way they were.
Gary passed away, like, I think it was 2021. It was not because of COVID, but it was in that general vicinity time range. And then Mobius worked out a deal with his estate, his widow, and then the tooling's still in South Korea where it's always been, but they finally got the kits repopped there. And the box art for that one's always great because Jerry drew that one up, and GM spiked the box art when it came back because they thought that the girl wasn't wearing enough clothes washing that car originally. So he had to modify the bathing suit to make it tasteful as far as General Motors was concerned.
Yeah, she's got more of a period air quote correct attire on for 1950s.
Yeah, they didn't appreciate the two-piece that she was originally wearing. They thought that was too risque to put on a.
Bathing suit wise, just think 1960s Gidget.
Yeah.
Which is a lot better than the 1970s Flying Nun. Just saying.
Great.
Hey, there's Herb. I just saw Herb pop up in the chat.
Yep. Mr. Art Rake is in there. He had a birthday recently. Happy birthday, Art, but I suggested that somebody needed to get him a cake in the shape of a rake. Thank you, folks. We'll be here all week. Tip your servers. Over. 7 o'clock show is completely different from the 10 o'clock show.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Scale Model Frenzy's in here too. I got to meet him in Colorado this year as he was leaving the actual show.
And for people who don't know, Mr. BG is a nationally award-winning modeler because, very amusingly, he won the best humor model at the IPMS Nats back in 2021.
Oh, where's my award at? I don't know. I should have had it sitting here in front of me. Yeah, no.
The egg plane?
The egg plane.
Yeah, the egg plane, yeah.
That was I did myself proud on that one.
What was the egg plan?
Okay. So picture it. Several years ago, some guys on YouTube had started an egg plane challenge, and those are the Hasegawa planes that are shaped like an egg. It's just really deformed, warped, all that kind of stuff. They're kind of cute little planes. And originally, I wanted to order a F-85. I think it's an F-85, F-84, something like that. But I ended up ordering a MiG-15. And I just clicked on the wrong thing. So I got this MiG-15 egg plane, and I'm like, I don't know what to do with this. I don't like MiGs. So I ended up just taking the plane and cutting it up so it looked like the shell had been broken, cut off a wing and just distressed it really badly, painted it up to look like the actual MiG. And then I went to an antique store that's not too far from here and shopped around. I wanted to get a skillet or something. And I found one of those little fajita pans that they would bring out to you, like at the Applebee's or the Chili's or something like that, with your flaming fajita meat on there. So I bought this thing for $12. And the old lady behind the counter, she's like, "Oh, are you going to make some fajitas?" I'm like, "No, I'm going to use this as a prop for a video." She's like, "Huh?" I said, "Yes, I'm going to make some fajitas." She's like, "Oh, okay, good. Well, how you bon appetit." I'm like, "Thanks." And so I ended up putting the egg plane on this skillet with what looked like an egg yolk already spread out across and that was made out of tulip white glue and a googly eye for the actual yolk in the center. And then I'm like, what's really going to top this off is some bacon to put on here. So I had to figure out how to make bacon, and I used Milliput. And I mashed it all up and everything, and I spread it all out, made it look like crinkled up bacon. I'm like, okay, that looks great. And I got to paint the damn thing. What does bacon look like? And it was hard to do research to figure out how to paint bacon because I kept getting hungry all the time. So finally got the colors figured out, and I painted it with Tamiya jar paint and a brush. So it still looks good. And then I clear coated the whole thing so it looks shiny and stuff. That's the one. There you go. Perfect.
Love it.
And then put it on a wooden base with a little bit of felt underneath there, and then did a video on it and got a lot of laughs on the video. And then getting ready for I would never have taken that on a plane. We were driving up to the 2020 national 2021, because that's where I met Duff in person. And James Duff almost got punched out that day too by somebody who looked like me but wasn't actually me.
Oh yeah, that's a great story.
Yeah. and then ended up winning best in humor for that year. So I'm like, for one whole year I was the funniest guy in IPMS. Pretty awesome.
That's cool. Yeah. That's really neat.
Yeah. I mean, you're an artist when you can make bacon. Linda was like, "Oh, that's so cool! You got like the little burn spots on the egg white and everything." I'm like, "What burn spots?" I took a closer look because I'd done it the night before, and then showed it to her. I'm like, "What burn spots?" And I took a closer look at it, and I'm like, "Oh, that's actually the rusty pan coming up through the white glue." Yeah, that's how I roll, Yeah.
So the Cliff Notes version of the story is that the 2021 Nats were held at the Rio Hotel, which I'm not even sure exists technically anymore. They were talking about tearing it down to build the minor league ballpark over there, and then I think somebody else bought it, and they were going to split the two hotels because there's a giant tower and then like a smaller, I don't know, 4 or 5 story hotel on the other side of it. And at any rate, if you bought the IPMS rate for the hotel, you got stuck in the bad side of the hotel. I was going to, and then they had this was 2021, so it's right after COVID, and Vegas had this whole like welcome back to Vegas COVID sales, and Rio was like, yeah, we're gonna do this too. And so I got the room for like $29 a night through the week, and then it was like $50 on the weekend, which was still way less than the IPMS rate was. And I got put in the tower. I think you were in the tower too, weren't you?
I was in the tower also.
Yeah, he got in the tower too. But anyway, Brian, the long story short of this is Brian's room was crappy, and then I think your key didn't work one night or something like that. The key didn't work and stuff like that. And so I saw him in the elevator that night of the key debacle as we were going up, and like I got a room that I had no issues with. Several other people I knew had issues with their rooms and were in the crappy little lower part. My friend from Oregon, or from Idaho rather, he had a view of the heating and air conditioning vent on the roof out of his room. That was his view. We were on the street side, so at least we could look out, but you weren't looking at the strip. You were looking like out at like this industrial park. The Rio's on the other side of the freeway from downtown in Fremont.
Yep.
And so, long story short, is I'm sitting in the hallway of this 9-mile trek that you had to walk from the hotel to the convention center, all inside the hotel. But the convention center couldn't have been further away from the hotel without it being in a completely different county. And Mrs. BG is walking with a guy who could have been Brian's doppelganger down this hallway. And as they go by, I shout at, not Brian, "Hey, did you ever get into your room last night?"
Oh, you said
wheels.
Yeah. Did you say, did you finally get your life back together?
Yeah, that's right. Did you ever get your life back together? Wheels around them. And I was like, oh, that is not the person I intended to scream that joke at.
Yeah, I wish I'd seen that.
Yeah,
no joke. That hotel was wicked. It was just, I mean, people had to hike at least a quarter of a mile to get to the venue after going through the smoke-choked casino and past 2 closed restaurants.
Yeah, that's it.
Every day there was somebody out there from EMS with oxygen helping some guy.
That's very true. I was just going to say, there was always one elderly gentleman in the shoe shine seats that were right before you went down the hallway to the convention center getting oxygen or something like that.
Yeah.
Because if you were in the low tower, you weren't that far away. But if you were in the tower, it was a contraption to get downstairs. You ended up in a landing that was like the back of the casino, so you were all the way as far away from the main part of the building as you could get anyway. Then you'd walk a whole width of the casino to get over to where the restaurants were, like you said, all of which except one was closed.
Mm-hmm.
And that one was only open for like 3 hours a day in the morning to serve breakfast. And then you walk down this hallway that, again, it couldn't have been any closer if you had put it in Nye County. It's like, it was great.
They have those airport shuttle, like the little carts they have at the airport for picking up people.
You should have one of those walking sidewalks is what they needed.
Yeah, exactly. The Rio. So we were in the tower, and the floors didn't start until like the 20th floor. Because we were like in bank, it had like 36 floors, something like that. So the bank that we were in, you had to get into a special elevator that didn't start until floor 20 or whatever it was. And we were on the 29th floor, if I remember correctly. We walk into our room, and the curtains are all drawn open and stuff. We walk into our room when we first get there, and we hear screaming, and the two sets of legs drop down. I'm like, holy crap! And the next thing you know, they're like, oh, the zip line is right over us.
Right,
from the higher tower to lower tower. So I'm like, I'm just curious. Like, I got to go see this. So I go over and I look out the window, and there's this line from one tower to the other across the roof of just flip flops and sandals. Yeah, good times.
Did your room feature any kind of eccentric architecture? Because our room, I think we were on 33, had a window in the wall.
Yes.
Of the shower. They went from the bedroom into the bathroom, so you could stand in the bedroom and look through into the shower.
Yep. That's where they mounted the movie cameras, I guess.
That was a, well, I mean, not that I was there with my wife and it was the first vacation we had taken since before COVID, so privacy wasn't necessarily the first thing on our minds, but it was certainly a violation of any kind of privacy of a situation where you didn't want to, be viewed while you were taking a shower. I stayed in a lot of hotels in my life, and I've never had one that had windows.
Yeah, that was an interesting choice. Definitely an interesting choice.
And it was a portal about this big. It was just big enough to like stick your face in. So it wasn't like a big window or anything. It was definitely like a creeper situation.
Yeah. Well, been married to Linda for quite a few years, and she's like, I'm gonna go take a shower. Don't look through the window. I'm like, okay. Because it was right at my height. I'm like, all right. This is creepy. I
was saying you could look out the shower and into the bedroom, and like, there was just no.
Yeah, make sure, like, I don't know if the bed's free. Oh, bed's free. Okay, cool. I'm gonna go. Yeah.
Oh, good times.
That's of all the places we've stayed, that was the most interesting, I think, because we've been, to quote Han Solo, from one side of this country to the other and seen a lot of strange stuff. But yeah, you guys on the East Coast, you do your model shows pretty darn well. Want to get back there again. You guys going to be going to Acme anytime soon?
I'd like to.
Well, we're going next year. We're going in 2026.
Okay. I'd say it's definitely a bucket list item. It's I've told the story too many times to go through again, but like it involves me taking a weekend off because it's a whole drive.
Yeah, you're not. God, how long a drive would that be for you?
For me, it would be just under 10 hours.
That sounds like a day's work for you.
I mean, yeah, I drove myself to Wisconsin, which was like 14 hours. It's not like I'm averse to the drive. It's just now that it's moved to October, it's doable. When it was in November, that's after I start working extra for Christmas, and it was just like I can't take time off during those 2 months. So it was like I'd love to come, but you guys have it scheduled.
Yeah, when I used to work at UPS, we had blackout days, which was like you look at the calendar, and from like the beginning of November all the way down to January did not exist. And I'm like, oh, this bodes well.
Let me see if I can grab another one of Brian's trucks, Brian's models, but it is a truck because this is what we were talking about. We were talking about in terms of nothing glues where it's supposed to.
Yep,
I like that one. It wasn't your first attempt at weathering because you built that sort of beat up shop truck, but I think this was one of the better attempts at weathering. Like I can't sit there and think of everything you built because you're a fairly prodigious person and you've built a lot of weather things recently, but I like how this was done. Let's put it that way. I think this was one of your best jobs at weathering.
Thank you. I think that one was the one where the weathering all started to click. And I did real pieces of wood for the top of it because it comes with molded wood boards for the top of the dump bed. And I decided, you know what, coffee stir sticks fit in there perfectly. Stain them up, beat them up, no problem. And yeah, that's the one I actually had to unwarp it by putting on the dashboard of my car. But it's the craziest thing. Building that model, I discovered you have to move the whole dump mechanism back about 2 millimeters or else it doesn't fit. Yeah, and luckily there's no locator pin, so you can do it very easily. But I did, the picture doesn't show it, but you can probably see the bulgy hinges on the hood. I did butterfly hinge the hood so it does lift up. And I just have it displayed open now because it just kept breaking off and everything. So the plastic was a little too thin to accommodate the hinges. Yeah, right through there.
That's
and I did do both sides, but I only have one side displayed open. And then you solve a problem, which creates another problem down the road. So the little handle you see on there for the hood side, I actually put a piece of copper wire, drilled holes and put a piece of copper wire through there because the little chrome handle that they give you just would come off every time I tried to use it. So I thought, nope, we're just going to pin that thing on there and make it permanent. But the most confusing thing about that whole build were the what is it? The air cleaners that are on the side there or is it the oil filters that are on the side by the driver's door? Supposed to, again, like the instructions say, put both of them on the single bracket. I'm like, okay. So that's why they're staggered like that, so I could get them stacked on there. And I took that to the Nationals at Vegas, and I set it on the table all nice and happy, and then along comes my buddy Chuck and puts his big rig right in front of it and totally dump truck blocked me on that one. Yeah, it was like the judges didn't even see it. So I was like, thanks, man. Appreciate that.
Oh, Chucky. Yeah.
Yeah, that's our Chuck. And then I on this dump truck here, I actually redid the mirror supports because I had a styrene rod because the sports that came with it, the mirrors were too close inboard. I wanted them to be a little bit farther out. They couldn't see past the dump bed, the dump box. So I decided to extend the mirrors out a little bit, and I like the look better. That's one of my favorite builds.
I think that's the legacy of that being a tractor first before it had a dump bed put into it later,
Right. And I would love to rebuild that, or not rebuild it, but build that model again, but shorten up the dump box and kind of slide everything a little bit farther back on the chassis, make it a little bit more, take off the rear set of wheels, make it a little bit more rat rod looking. That would be a lot of fun to try and do. But I haven't got the time. The ideas are more plentiful than the actual time is.
Yeah, it's much easier.
Get the truth.
Yeah.
Acme is in Cartersville, Georgia, Scale Model Frenzy. There you go. Rick's got you. Yeah, it's a cute town. It's a cute town. Great barbecue.
So when you fly into Atlanta, I assume?
Yeah. But I would rather fly into Chattanooga and drive down because we've done, every time we've been to Acme, which I think is like 4 times now, the Atlanta airport just does not get better.
No, it's a very, very busy area. Plus, it's all the way on the southwest corner of the loop now. And
right.
With it being moved up to Cartersville, you're what, an hour and a half north of the airport at that point.
An hour and a half, but with traffic and everything, you can easily make that to 2 hours because what was it, the 75 that goes through there?
Yeah.
That was one of the worst highways ever, especially on the Friday traffic. So we started going in like on Wednesday and just sort of hanging out and doing stuff in the area because the traffic on a Wednesday evening isn't as bad as traffic on a Friday evening trying to get out of the Atlanta area. Oh, wow. I understand why the Dukes of Hazzard drove like they did in that TV show now. When we first got there, our phones, the maps on our phone started doing this weird thing. We'd never seen this before, but it would announce if there was a stalled vehicle on the side of the road. In 1 mile, there's a stalled vehicle on the side of the road. But okay, great. So, all right, make sure we're not driving through the access port or whatever. But it was like every mile there was another stalled vehicle. I'm like, that must be how they tell distance here. This is the craziest thing. every few miles, yeah. Stalled vehicle on the side of the road. Oh, okay, great, thanks. Anybody we know? No.
I ended Chattanooga, huh?
That's what I'm thinking. Linda, we can't get a direct flight to Chattanooga, but I'm like, dude, anything's got to be better than getting into Atlanta, getting to the actual train that takes you to the rental car facility, getting a rental car it is not a problem at all. That's pretty straightforward. All those places do a good job getting you through there. It's when you get out onto the surface streets, it's like, what is going on?
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, getting cut off by school buses and stuff. I was like, this okay, all right, whatever.
Yeah, unless I ride with James, I'm flying.
Yeah,
I'm not driving.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Let me just for the examples factor here. Let's see if I can get this to actually show.
You gonna show us a map?
Sean, do you want
Yeah,
to go?
I sure am. So
Okay.
down here, this blue splotch, this is the airport. Okay, and then Cartersville is up here. So you have to drive through town and then up through Marietta, because it used to be in Marietta, which wasn't as bad, but you have to drive up through Marietta, past Kennesaw, and all the way up to here. I mean, that is 70, 80 miles away.
It was in Smyrna, so it was even closer.
Smyrna, that's right, yeah.
But the problem was when the Braves won the World Series the same weekend that the Acme was going on, everything shut down. You couldn't get a hotel. You couldn't get a restaurant. You couldn't get food. They were pulling kids out of school for parades. I'm like, wow, what war did we just win? Oh, the World Series. Okay, thanks.
Chattanooga being up here, it's probably 30, 40 miles further, but I bet you it's an hour faster.
Hey, you're 100% right. Yeah. Plus, I've never been to Tennessee, and I hear it's a pretty place. So it's on the list. It's in my watch list.
If you want to go.
I got to go there once at least.
Oh, did you? Okay.
No. I mean, I have to. I need to go there at least once. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Put me down.
Definitely. Otherwise, they'll just send you back. It's like, sorry, you haven't gone to Acme.
Yeah, it's definitely on my list of shows I'd like to do at some point.
Yeah, Scale Model Frenzy's right. If you don't get to Atlanta late at night, you're not getting anywhere.
So that's the Chicago rule as well. If you don't drive through Chicago at 2:00 in the morning, you're not driving through Chicago.
Right. Yeah, we years and years and years ago, we went to Seattle to see my cousin for Thanksgiving, and we got so many delays getting out of Arizona that we ended up flying in at 1:00 in the morning. And boy, traffic was really nice in Seattle at 1:00 in the morning. I mean, like, usually when you're in Seattle, it's bumper to bumper. So you have time to look at the map and be like, oh, I need to be in this lane so I can make it to the hotel over here. Okay, great. No, stuff was coming fast because we're doing the speed limit. And like, these blocks are small. Yeah, it's a good time. Got food poisoning Thanksgiving Day. Don't remember much about the trip after that. Yeah. Apparently when I was packing, I was so delirious I left a pair of pants in the dresser drawer. So I called them and they mailed them to me. Yeah. All right. I was getting paged.
Mikey's saying BG went to Acme last year and it took him 3 days to get the tick that was me off of him.
Yeah. That's not it. No, I had a lot of fun hanging out with Mike. He's a fun guy to hang out with. It's easier to talk to him when you're sitting down because we're not eye to eye on a lot of things. So yeah. No, he had a pretty good bottle of what was it, maple flavored
bourbon.
Yeah. Man. Yeah. And then the next night he's like, I'm gonna do a live stream. You want to be on that? I'm like, sure, okay, great. So we're sitting down to do a live stream, and out comes that bottle, clunk, and it's like mostly gone. I'm like, I didn't do that. No, that was me. Yeah. They started calling him pigskin because I used to call him football.
So what is his shtick? He's Southern, so he's not funny or attractive.
Yeah. I don't think I've heard of. Yeah, maybe he has said that. I don't know. I'll have to go back
it was. I think it was in that one that you guys did with the Insanity guys. That he. Yes. Because Riv and him will go back and forth all the time, and I'm just here. I'm Southern, so I'm not funny or attractive.
He says he did talk to my belt a lot.
Family show. No.
Bye, Irv. Thanks for hanging out, guy. Still feel bad about blowing you off, man. He said he was at Acme when I was there, and I didn't get a chance. He said I blew him off. I'm like, dude, I'm sorry.
I'm sure there's so many people there.
I was just saying, I think Acme's the same way. Like, because Bryan could speak to both. Acme's like NNL East. Mm-hmm. There's just a lot going on in general, and then everybody wants to talk to you, and so it's
right. And you want to talk to everybody. So I mean, I wanted to hang out with Craig's Customs a lot more, but he kept getting pulled off that way. I kept getting pulled off that way. Yeah. When we did the 10 questions with Fred, I got to sit next to him, but couldn't talk much while that was going on. You get yelled at if you talk too much while you're doing it, Fred.
I apologize, Mike. I'm not talented or funny. There you go.
Ah, there we go.
I knew that him not being funny was part of it.
Yeah, Justin, it's definitely diabetes bourbon. They'll give you the Wilford Brimleys for sure.
I was gonna say it's like peanut butter whiskey.
Wait, that's a thing?
Peanut butter whiskey? Oh yeah, that is definitely a thing.
Do you have to put it in the microwave so you can pour it? Oh wait, no, it's peanut butter flavored.
Yes.
Okay, that makes much more sense than what I was imagining.
I think you like fudge.
That's freaking nasty. Any chat questions?
No, they don't do that on our show.
They don't do that on our show?
No.
Yeah,
you guys start doing that.
They just make fun of us.
Exactly. Yeah, that's it. They sit there and they have conversations about
the peanut gallery.
My whether or not I'm excited enough in the episode. I literally sit here trying to watch the chat. So if there's something pops up that's a question, I can throw it up on screen. He's just staring at the screen. Well, I can't stare at the camera, which is over here, and the chat window, which is over there at the same time. I mean, I know there are some people that can do that. I happen to be one of them.
Oh God. Well, it's a little better than working with Riv because he's usually got a football game going on, and he's just like, yeah, whatever. Shut up. Let's see. Rick says, "Do you spread peanut butter whiskey on crackers, BG?" Oh, you know what? That sounds good. I do that.
It's a very famous shtick out of Plastic Model Mojo guys. You know, their whole thing is at the beginning of every episode they talk about their modeling fluid, which is what alcohol they're drinking that night. And somebody gave Kentucky Dave a bottle of peanut butter whiskey, and it is to this day. I think that show's been going on for 5+ years now. It is the one thing that he was like, "Oh my God, this is the worst thing I've ever tasted in my life. This is awful. Who would have done this?" And so that's a running gag. If you're ever at a show, because they float around the Midwest a little bit, and of course they're at nationals. You ever see them? Just ask Dave how the peanut butter whiskey.
Oh, I didn't get to tell you.
I'm on a live cast right now. Yeah, put your clothes on. I'm just trying to help your subscribers. That's all.
Just 7 million people.
And
hi, everybody.
You've met him, and you've met him.
James and James.
Yeah. Right.
Nice to meet you. All right, I'll let you get back to your live cast.
Okay, you get your name tag on still.
Oh yeah, that's all right.
Yeah.
Who am I?
Yeah. She's on duty.
So James and Sean, you're going to be at the Akron show?
Yes, indeed.
Okay.
We will all be there.
I say yes. Cool. If you want to meet this podcast and you happen to be in the middle of Ohio, next was Saturday, the 11th. We're going to all be in Copley, Ohio, suburb of Akron, for the Plastic Undercover show. I have taken time off of work, so I'm getting paid to hang out with these two. So maybe everybody should comment about what a great mood I'm in, because instead of driving up there after work, I'm taking the day off beforehand too. So I'm going to be awake and getting paid. How about that?
Dean's got a question.
We actually have a question.
For a resin kit, do you wash and what primer, Mr. Tester?
I use Dawn dishwashing soap, little scrub brush, scrub it all up, and I prefer Mr. Hobby primers.
Oh, I think they have a finer grit to those than Tamiya stuff does.
Yeah, the 1500 is my favorite.
Right. And I've done the 1,000, and I also have some 500.
I haven't tried that.
Filling. It fills in the gaps really well. I started using it on figures.
Okay.
So, 3D printed figures, so it fills in the layer lines a little better. It seems. That could just be my opinion, but yeah, the 500.
Do you have to use like a 0.5 needle with that, or?
I actually use the rattle can.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Mr. Sean has a product he wants to talk about, or he's going to set the room on fire. One of the two.
Yeah, no, I clean everything with this stuff.
Prep ball. Okay.
Clean prep ball.
It's wax and grease remover. It's what they use in real auto body shops. I started using. We used to use that stuff at the model shop or the prototype lab where I worked at, and so it's great. It's a
greaser.
Yeah, it's a degreaser.
Okay.
And then I don't have to worry about any sort of fish eyes or anything like that.
Okay.
It'll especially like resin bodies, you get a lot sometimes, who knows what sort of spray release they've put on there. So
I was working on it. Oh, where do you get that at? Okay.
Amazon. Yeah.
Amazon, really?
Yeah.
Okay. I was working on some starter kits, some 43rd scale starter kits earlier this year, and they're all resin. And apparently, from a person that I know, said that they were like based with diesel. Some weird thing. Yeah, it was like they're like old school resin stuff. Because I had to do some sanding on it. I'm like, whoa, this doesn't smell right. And I talked to my friend about it, and he was like, yeah, those are the old like they use diesel resin, some weird thing. He's like, just don't sand it too fast, you don't want it to catch fire. Yeah, like after like 30 years they're still giving off fumes.
That's the things the French did in the 1990s.
Right. I did a Mini Cooper. You think that would be an easy build? No. I had to prime the hell out of that because the primer was fish-eyeing on it. So I had to sand the hell out of that stuff and then clean. I just did a lot of alcohol swabbing on there to just clean up the body as best I could, and then got the primer up. Finally, it stopped fish-eyeing. But I was like, man, like one whole side of the car just like, man, it was like a pizza. It was terrible.
Or maybe you were just eating pizza and.
No, because that's never happened. You shut up.
Mikey was asking what shows they're closest to the Southeast that we all go to. These guys I don't think travel that much for their shows as of yet, but I go to Tidewater. I'm not going this year, but I go to Tidewater in Norfolk. That's probably the furthest southeast I get until I drag myself down to Acme one of these times. Brian.
Yeah.
The new podcast.
Yes.
What's the point? Like, what are we trying to accomplish here? Like, what's the mission statement of this? You guys have gotten a really interesting opportunity with it being underneath Rob and the Insanity thing. That gives you a really good running head start with sort of a built-in audience. You got a lot of response back when you guys open up the Facebook page. I think you got like 200 plus people in the first couple of days. So clearly a lot of people from the prior podcast are following you over and stuff like that. So like I said, we're going to have the other, whether or not they realize it or not, Jason's planned them on the show next week or next time. So we'll ask them that as a group. But so like, again, like what's the goal here? What's different about this than the last one? Et cetera, et cetera.
Different
yourself.
Different crew guys, mostly. We're just gonna of course, as well cars, of course, but we're just kind of tackling it from a different point of view. Getting different guys on the podcast means you're going to have different points of view on some topics and stuff, and it's just kind of carrying forward what we had started already. When the other one ended, still wanted to do something in the podcasting realm. So Jason and I had been approached by Rob talking about how they wanted to do a podcast for automotive stuff and approached us with it, and we were like, heck yeah, sure, sign us up. We'll definitely go. And then we had a couple of stipulations. They're like, you're going to have Justin. And we're like, okay. Justin comes with the territory. And I'm like, okay, wait. Are you palming Justin off on us? Or no, he's going to be the crossover guy. Ah, all right. That's cool. And then, I just kind of sent out the word to a couple of people we had in mind to partner up with us, and just going to kind of carry it forward from where we left off with the old one. And just, for me, it's more about having fun and sharing the hobby and being an ambassador for the hobby as best as we can, especially from my point of view. So that's basically it. Just being a good ambassador for the hobby, and there's plenty of room for podcasts for plenty. So
obviously,
why not? Yeah. So, does that answer your question satisfactorily? I could make up more stuff.
No, I think we go with the non-made-up answer. Let's go.
Okay.
I was gonna say I've listened to the first episode. Good. I mean, a lot of it is introducing yourselves, and I know all you guys. So, from that aspect,
you had to do that, right?
Yeah, you have to.
Well, Mikey had a really good point of view there that if we're going to be going under the Insanity umbrella, we're going to be put in the faces of more people that already know us. So why not get an introduction going on there? And because I've worked with Jason, of course, before, and I've hung out with Mike, so I know him pretty well. So I'm still getting a feel for Justin and for Jody on how those guys like to operate and do things. And Justin says, "Easy there, BG." Oh, I'm sorry. Am I spelling too much T? Just kind of getting a feel for how everybody wants to do things and hang out and just have a good time. The other podcast was a lot of fun. It got pretty raucous here and there, and made a lot of friends doing that. Probably pissed off a couple of people also here and there, and we do apologize. I do apologize about that. I can't speak for the other guys, but this one where we have experience and know how to carry it forward, and maybe do even a little bit of a better job than last time. So
it's okay. Chuck gets all the hate mail anyway.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, somebody had asked in the Facebook page yesterday. They're like, I think it was Steve Demo, who was like, "So who do we send our hate mail to?" I'm like, "You can still send it to Chuck. I don't mind. I'll send you his email."
I say now, our out the door question that we've stolen from the Triple P is the concept of the Opus Magnum build. So if BG were to build something, a model, or like I said, it's a series of models, because mine is always I want to build a series of race cars from a specific race. What is BG's Lifetime Achievement Award build? Is there some particular kit or maybe series of kits that you would want to build, before you shuffle off this mortal coil, that we'd all be like, look back at and be like, oh yeah, Brian's masterwork was that.
Okay. Let's see. All right. I would want to build the most accurate Corvair model I could ever possibly build, since I know those things inside and out. Excuse me. I would want to build something that had the most, like, opening front trunk. I'd even want to drop the glove box down, and just do the most absolute best. But I want to do a convertible. I want to do a coupe. I want to do a wagon. I want to do like the whole range of automotive options that they had at the time. Turbo, all that kind of stuff. So I'd want to have like an entire dealership of these things. Not all the same color though. So, off the top of my head, that would have to be it. But I had never really considered. That's a very good question. I might have to steal that. I mean, that's a very good question.
We stole it. Feel free to repurpose it.
Okay.
Are you more of the first gen or the second gen?
I like them both. I'm a bigger fan of the second gen, but I've had the first gen ones also in real life. Those model kits are a lot harder to come by unless you know somebody. And luckily I did. He hooked me up with a convertible one. But yeah, the first gen ones are a little bit more rudimentary. I mean, was it single reservoir master cylinder? I mean, that's no power steering. Yeah, if that reservoir went out, you were toast. There was no backup on that. So yeah, that would be. I hadn't really thought of that before. That's a good question. Yeah, a series of stuff. That would have to be it.
I say they used to ask that question all the time, and then they sort of petered out and stopped doing it. So I felt like grabbing it for us, because I thought, the Triple P Plastic Posse podcast, for the uninitiated, like, they have a series of people who build on there, but they're all IPMS guys as far as their subject goes. A couple sci-fi, a couple, and everybody else does military stuff. It's like, I want the answer from car guys. Like, what are the car guys? What's the answer for I know what I want to build the most accurate Bastogne, Sherman that ever existed. Okay, great, awesome. But like, what do the car guys want to do?
Right. No, that's a good question. I like that. That's well done. I actually got a chance to meet the Plastic Posse guys in Vegas at one of the shows there. I think it was most of them were there. Really nice guys.
Yeah.
I told them that at that time the podcast that I was on was a fledgling podcast. I told them about, like, okay, here's some advice. Do this, do this, do this. And like, I'm sitting there like writing down notes and stuff. I'm like, this is freaking gold. So yeah, that was one of the things that made me want to up my microphone game and get something a little bit better than the webcam thing that I'm using right now. But yeah, they're super nice guys. So hopefully you guys get a chance to meet them sometime.
Yeah, so I've met them at Nats before.
Oh, good.
But Nani's originally from around here. I belong to the IPMS club here in Pittsburgh, and we still give out the best junior awards named after his dad. So, John's dad used to be. Well, it's like he helped found Pittsburgh's IPMS club, and then he was one of the founders of the one up in Sharon, the Shenango Valley guys. And they do best British airplane for him, still named after him. So, say John's dad was a very large figure in the hobby around here. And then
that's awesome.
So that's how John got his start. Obviously, his joke is he was going to IPMS meetings when he was a toddler, because, like, bring my kid to the meeting kind of thing. And so he's been involved in IPMS forever. And there's a whole thing about about that as it exists after Texas and stuff like that. But be that as it may,
I had an old club mate up when I was in Oregon. He brought his daughters once in a while. They were like 8 and 10 or something like that. And they come to the meetings, they just play in the corner, something like that. So somebody asked them one time, like, so are you going to grow up to be a model builder also? And they looked at the room full of middle-aged men and were like, no. Like, well said, kid, well said.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have bounced up against our time here. Mr. Bryan, this was a long time coming. We want to appreciate you taking the time out of your busy model reorganization schedule over there at Handy's to come on tonight, fleeing the scene of the crime, as it were.
Right. I can't wait to go in tomorrow and find out what I didn't do. Yeah, well, thank you guys for having me on here. I appreciate that. And I apologize for not being on here sooner. This is a lot of fun.
Thanks, BG.
Good meeting you.
Good meeting you too, Sean. And hey, if you guys need somebody to fill in once in a while, like somebody cancels, whatever, let me know. I'll be happy to leave work early.
Sorry, Andy, I have to go host a podcast. No, not that one, the other one.
Gotta go do something for free.
And then again, next time around on the 22nd, I believe it is. Let me look at my calendar.
20th.
20th, yeah, the 20th. We will have the other 2/3 of this podcast on, assuming Jason can actually wrangle them all together. And we'll again further pimp the podcast, and by then you guys ought to be about ready to drop your second episode, or about to record it anyway. And we wish you much success with that. You guys dissolved out, and we suddenly became the elder statesman in the automotive space here. So, oops, didn't expect that to happen.
Yeah. But no, it's a lot of fun. hanging out with you guys and stuff. Yeah, I couldn't make the next recording for you guys because I'm actually going to be in California for my birthday. So
yeah, my original idea was, I told Jason, was like, we'll just bring everybody on like 30 minutes from the end, and we'll just talk about it then. He's like, no, I don't want to ruin BG's time. I'm like, I'm sure we can have him on again. I mean,
yeah, no, that's fine.
The one and only time Brian's going to be here. We're going to take the shine off Brian's episode by showing up. Oh, okay.
Don't you dare tarnish my episode.
That's right.
No, it's cool. It's cool. So. Yeah, because I think when I reached out and asked you about being on here, we hadn't finalized anything yet. So yeah. Well, I appreciate you guys having me on here. Let me talk about the other podcast and my job. I guess I don't think there's anybody out there that doesn't know that by now. But yeah, it's a freaking dream come true. I swear to God.
So jealous.
So I think it's in the back of every modeler's mind is that idea. Like, man, I'd really like to work in a hobby shop.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, the more hours you spend there, the less hours you get for this. Matter of fact, Linda was saying the other day, she's like, you should get some bench time in this weekend. You haven't done anything for yourself at the bench. I'm like, oh my God, I love you. So I was walking down the hallway. I'm like, order up the Chinese food. I'll be at the bench.
There you go. All right, boys and girls. Appreciate everyone in the chat joining us tonight. And we will see you guys all on the other side.
Good night, everyone.
See you.
Good night, guys.